Hello everyone, this is Governor bringing you a vidcast on the topic of the week, what I like to see in battle reports. So I will start by saying I don't really have a lot of experience as a producer of content. This is something I've started doing maybe a few months ago. I have enjoyed videos for some time now, probably close to about 6 months. And so I have been enjoying the battle reports over the internet, and that wasn't always the case. So one thing I would like to talk about in this video is really what my ideal battle report is as a viewer, my goals as a producer, and then I'll cover who got me into video casting, and as well as the tools that I use to create my content. What I'm trying to achieve, for me, I'd like to get my videos anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes for a battle report. Unfortunately, to this date, I've not done a very good job of it. Most of my videos fall between 25 minutes to 45 minutes. And so where I'm struggling is I want to cover the key strategy, the deployment, and the sequence of events that really changed the game. And I find that I'm a bit too verbose in some of my explanations, and I don't know where to trim it. I definitely don't want to fall in the area of getting too trim. I've seen some videos where individuals kind of just give you sequences of this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, and there's not really much value to me in that. There's not really much pleasure. I'd rather spend 30 minutes watching a video that I think is too long but has some key highlights versus 10 minutes or 15 minutes on something that just is one slide at a time. And so I'm struggling in that area. I'm thinking, I have some ideas that I'll implement and you'll see in the future. For what got me into creating content, I'd have to give all credit to Anthony at the Sustainable Center. A little bit of history was when I tried to get back into playing the Bretonnian Army for 8th edition. I had quit playing them since 6th edition, and I really wanted to get back into them. It was my first army, the army that I really got into Warhammer with, and so I was getting that itch to play them again. And so when I looked on the internet over the forums for Bretonnian Tactica, I found that there was really nothing. It was all based on 6th and 7th edition, and really not much new on 8th edition. But then I ran into Anthony's videos on 8th edition and Bretonnia, and I started watching them, and I thought he did a really good job explaining and articulating the strategy and the reason behind what he does with Bretonnians. Now, mind you, all along I saw him posting his battle reports, but I never really was very interested in battle reports over the YouTube medium, simply because I didn't really feel they were the best form to present the information. I kind of was stuck on the old format of using a tool like Battle Chronologer that actually showed you step by step and turn by turn how the events went. And so that was kind of the format I was used to, and that's the format that I both read and produced content on. But after seeing Anthony's presentation on the videos on how to play Bretonnian, I started wondering how he applied his philosophy in the game and how applicable his tutorials were. And so I started watching his videos, and I found that he did a really good job in presenting the videos. And so little by little, I started enjoying his videos and looking forward to them. I lamented when he went to the dark side and jumped over or skittered over to the Skaven, but he's forgiven. And so I look at, but one thing that Anthony does really good that I think is really great for the industry or the hobby is that he kind of just puts other people's name out there. He kind of promotes other people, and so through him, I started noticing that other people also did a good job presenting their battle reports. And so I started listening to them and started really enjoying the different formats and the different armies. Eventually to the point where I decided to start creating my own content instead of using the traditional media that I was using, I started using YouTube as a way to produce content. And I will say that it does take me a lot longer, almost twice as much or even 3 times as long to create video content for YouTube. But I also find that it's easier for me to actually create the content, in the sense that I don't have to create diagrams, I don't have to write up the text, and I don't have to sit for a long period of time in front of the computer to do this stuff. I do almost everything on my Note 4, and so I take my pictures with my camera on my phone, and I record my audio on my phone, and then I do all the video editing on my phone. So it gives me the flexibility, since I'm always on the move, since my time is very limited. I really don't have time on my own to sit after hours from work for a very long period of time in front of the computer without some interruption or without me needing to do something. And so I could do all of this content creation on the fly, here and there, and kind of just put everything together in pieces and then have one final product. So with that said, let me move on to the next slide that talks about what tools I actually use. I use an app called Speaker Studio. It's not much better than the default audio recording tool that came with the Android phone, my Note 4. But it has some additional features that allows me to use, kind of like playing background music while I'm talking, or allows me to have special effects. Although I haven't made much use of them, I kind of find them more annoying. But if you want to hear, it's kind of like I have that aha moment. I can just kind of hit the effects button. The next thing you know, you hear this. And so it has those kind of capabilities, and a few more other stuff. It allows for live chat if you wanted to do so. So it's a good tool. It has a lot of upside, more than just a note-taking app that I use. So that's kind of what I use for audio recording. For the audio editing and the video editing, I use an app called Media Studio. It was once called Android Media Studio. He kind of dropped the Android part of it. And what I find, this app isn't the best app for editing audio or video. It does enough for me, and so there's a lot of work that I have to do to edit it, and I have to do it in pieces. Whereas some other apps allow you to do everything at once, putting things together and dropping it. But what this app has that no other app has on the Android platform is it does things on the background. So once I create my batch process, I'm able to go on and start using my phone as I normally would, or even close the application and go about my business, where you really can't do that in an iPhone or with any of these other apps. These other apps require that you have the phone on and that the app is running in the foreground while it's doing this processing. And so, and that's unfortunate. I think there's another app called Kino Studio that shows a lot of promise. Unfortunately, that one's a paid subscription. I'm not sure why, but you have to pay a monthly subscription. It has some nice video editing abilities, but it has to be running in the forefront, and so that kind of makes that tool useless for me. So I kind of standardized on Media Studio, and that is also a paid app. I believe I paid $8 for it, but it just continues to get better. So and it satisfies my needs. So far, I haven't really found it to be limiting or wanting in anything. It's just very cumbersome and kind of kludgy to use, but still works. And the developer is very good about getting back to you if you have any questions or concerns. So that's pretty much it. Not a lot of frills, and that's the way I write my battle reports. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next battle report. This is TotW signing out.